Are you struggling with self-doubt and insecurity as an artist? Then this video is for you guys. I'm going to give you 3 top-tier ways to keep motivated as an artist in life. Number 1, doing it for yourself, not for others. Trust me, bro, it is so hard to get out of the whole needing attention and validation and approval from other people, and it can be very frustrating when you make something and you don't get any views or whatever. I'm telling you, man, that will drive you to the brink of insanity because you'll never feel like it's enough. You know, it'll never ever be enough. Even if you were to get 1 million views, I swear you'd still feel like it wasn't enough. So it just doesn't work as a motivator, you know, when you're trying to get as many views as possible. Like, and trust me, I've tried. It just doesn't work. Realize that you are the source of your creativity and you're doing it for you, for your own satisfaction. And that takes a tremendous amount of pressure off because now you don't need the validation of other people. You're doing it for yourself. You are the judge, jury, and executioner of your own artwork and your own creative expression, whether it's, you know, making videos or whether it's painting, whatever. You know, you decide whether it's good or not, right? And that actually leads me to my second step or piece of advice is to lower the goddamn bar, okay? Just lower the bar, you know, for your standard. This is my personal take, right? Some people would say, no, you got to keep the bar up really high and you got to strive for perfection. And some of the great artists did, like, you know, Michelangelo or Leonardo. I mean, they were striving for a high bar, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. But I'm telling you, like, I don't know, maybe it's just the way it is nowadays, but like that doesn't really work so well, you know, because the one thing about Michelangelo anyway was he was like he was miserable, I'm pretty sure. He spoke a lot about how difficult life was, you know, as an artist, how he was always failing and, you know, he was kind of miserable. So like, do you really want to be miserable? I mean, what's the point of making art if you're miserable? So like one big thing is to like lower your standards. Like I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't particularly like this cow painting, right? The artist brain of me, and that's fine. You know, you have that critical mind that's always going to be like, it could have been better. I didn't get the, you know, the shadows well, and it's kind of boring and it doesn't really work well. Fine, okay? You can have that mind, you know, but don't let it ruin the fun. Don't let it stop you from still making it and posting it, you know, because you'll end up just doing nothing. So lower the bar, drop the standards, you know. You can still have them, but just don't cling to them, you know, and just have more fun. Just have fun. Okay, so advice number 3 is to try and do things a little bit differently, right? So whether you're an artist that decides you're going to paint with acrylic instead of oil, and this is only if you're in a rut, by the way. Like if you're boom, you're enjoying what you're doing, then keep going. This is only if you're like found yourself stuck and like frustrated and you don't know what to do, you know, then sometimes it's good to try doing something different. But in general, even if you are in the zone, it's always good to keep the creativity going, that like you're trying something new, you know, in some way. You're not afraid of trying new things anyway, you know. You don't have to do something drastically new every single time. But, you know, like for me, you know, with my YouTube channel and my art, you know, I try to not confine myself into a box of like, this is the type of YouTuber that I am. This is the type of art that I make. Like there is a consistency, I think, overall to my YouTube channel, just because, you know, I have a certain personality and that personality generally keeps showing through. Yeah, I've got a bonus piece of advice, right? Step number 4, bonus advice. Watch out, guys. Bonus advice. Whoa, sound the alarms. Okay, the bonus advice is, and I kind of is similar to step number 1, which is to do it for yourself. But I'll just say another thing. Step number 4 is like, you know, use art to find out who you are. Use creativity to find out who you are, you know. That's the whole point of it in many ways, is discover who you are. I mean, like whatever creativity you were doing, whether it was YouTube or art, like when you first did it, you didn't know you could do it. Like I remember the first painting that I ever did, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know I could do this, you know. So like you don't know what you're capable of, and like a lot of art is about discovering things that you didn't know. Like you're discovering new things in yourself, you know. And so like it's kind of like, you know, use art to find out who you are. and take risks and fail and struggle and, you know, just and have fun with it. So yeah, I don't know if any of that made sense. You know, I'm kind of ranting like a lunatic. You know, I'm also applying all these techniques or advice or whatever, you know, and some of them work, some of them don't. Like, you know, at the end of the day, you are the only one that can figure out what's going to work for you. You know, this is an ongoing process. This is like going to take your whole life to get this right. This is like, you're not just here to do art. You're here to learn how to do art. You know, you're here to how to learn to be creative. You know, because once you figure that out, once you free yourself and creativity starts happening naturally and spontaneously and easily, once you've gotten to that point, you've succeeded. Like, that is the success, you know? And honestly, if you're thinking only in terms of money and fame and all that, then like, you know, do something else, man. Don't do art, you know? I don't know, like, art, you're trying to be a famous artist, like you've lost your mind. You know, only the dead are famous. Only the dead artists are famous. If you're living, you're alive, you're struggling, you're confused, you're having doubt, you don't know. But that's the whole point of it, you know? And you're discovering things, you're learning about yourself. So, guys, that's the end of the video, okay? I don't know if that made any sense or if it was any good. But, like, listen, stay frosty or something. Or you know, stay artsy. That's it. Stay artsy. All right. Peace and love.